Welcome to the podcast, Hater Proof. Most for self-improvement, good for your listening parts. Stay tuned. This is It's Mental. Listen, I'm unbothered by your hate. So here's some current events. Friday afternoon or Friday evening, wherever you are. Could be Friday morning, Friday afternoon, or Friday evening. Whichever the case may be, the week is over and the weekend begins. Overcrowded border jails give way to packed migrant child shelters. Biden administration officials have insisted that they have gotten better control of a surge of migrant children that has swamped detention centers. But documents obtained by the Times indicate that the problem has moved to other facilities which are nearing capacity and running out of money. The Justice Department proposed a rule that would expand the definition of a firearm and crack down on, quote, ghost guns. After a judge struck down a moratorium on evictions, the Biden administration said it would speed aid to renters. Biden and Republicans spar over unemployment as job gains disappoint. Amid criticism, President Biden said he saw no measurable evidence that a $300 federal boost in unemployment benefits was hurting the labor market. We're down 8.2 million jobs since February 2020. Stocks hit record even with April's weak job gains. The report rippled through financial markets, with the data deflating investors' concerns the economy could overheat. China's vaccine diplomacy just got a big win, but can Beijing deliver? The World Health Organization has approved a Chinese vaccine for emergency use at a time when officials in the country are warning of a domestic shortage. Here's your 10-point briefing for this evening. This Friday evening. Number 1. In a surprise, America's job engine slowed. The U.S. added 266,000 jobs in April, far below the 1 million new positions that economists had expected, in a sharp drop from the vigorous gains in March. In fact, April's tepid job creation was so out of line with what other indicators suggested that it will take some time to unravel the mystery. Two immediate issues stood out. American manufacturers blamed supply chain problems for the loss of 18,000 jobs, and many offices are not yet ready to reopen fully. The report poses a test to President Biden's strategy for economic recovery. Business groups and Republicans pushed the president to end an expanded unemployment benefit, an additional $300 a week, that they say is causing a labor shortage and risking inflation. Biden said it would take time for the $1.9 trillion aid bill that he signed in March to fully reinvigorate the economy, and noted the 1.5 million jobs created on his watch so far. Quote, our efforts are starting to work, he said. Quote, but the climb is steep and we've got a long way to go. Despite the disappointing jobs report, stocks hit a record high. But 2, the World Health Organization approved China's Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use, easing the way for poor nations to obtain shots. The approval allows the Sinopharm vaccine to be included in COVAX, the global initiative designed to promote vaccine access around the world. But the fanfare may be short-lived. While China has claimed it can make up to 5 billion doses by the end of the year, Chinese officials caution that it is struggling to make enough doses for its own population. The U.S., Pfizer, and BioNTech applied for full FDA approval for their COVID vaccine, the first companies to do so. The approval process is likely to take months. Emergency authorization for the use of the Pfizer vaccine in adolescents 12 to 15 years old is expected next week. You know, these These stories of vaccine shortages give me flashbacks of apocalyptic zombie movies. I'm just saying. Number 3, a federal grand jury indicted Derek Chauvin and 3 other former police officers on charges of violating George Floyd's civil rights. The indictment was to return less than 3 weeks after Chauvin was convicted of second-degree murder in Floyd's death. The charges are another extraordinary censoring of law enforcement officials who rarely face criminal charges for using deadly force. The indictment alleges that by holding one knee on Floyd's neck and the other on his back, Chauvin used unconstitutional, unreasonable force that resulted in Floyd's death. The other 3 officers were charged with willfully failing to stop Chauvin. A second indictment charged Chauvin with depriving a teenager of his civil rights in a 2017 encounter. Well, they went back to the past and said, we'll go ahead and add this on there too, since you in here today. Number 4, hours after Florida enacted a raft of new voting restrictions, Texas pressed ahead with its own far-reaching bill. The bill would make Texas one of the most difficult states in the nation to vote in. Among other restrictions, the bill would empower partisan poll watchers, prohibit election officials from mailing out absentee ballot applications, and impose strict punishments for those who break the rules. It will soon head to the Republican-controlled Senate. Governor Greg Abbott is expected to sign it. In other political news, Keisha Lance Bottoms, the Atlanta mayor who rose to national prominence amid racial justice protests, said she wouldn't seek re-election. Quote, it is time to pass the baton, she said. Number 5, Boris Johnson built his success on Brexit, but it may come at the expense of Scotland and the breakup of the United Kingdom. In England, the Prime Minister's Conservative Party scored decisive victories in regional elections on Thursday. But the same populist forces that propelled the Conservatives there cut against them in Scotland, where supporters of Scottish independence won key seats. A full vote tally isn't expected until Saturday. But even if the Scottish National Party falls a few seats short of an outright majority, it can assemble a pro-independence majority with the support of Scottish Greens and build momentum for another referendum on independence. Number 6, part of China's largest rocket, the Long March 5B, is tumbling in orbit and will probably fall to Earth this weekend. Don't panic. The chances that it will a populated area are small but not zero. Why China allowed this to occur remains unclear, and more such uncontrolled rocket re-entries are possible in the years to come. The country's space program continues to create danger, however small, for people all over the planet by failing to control the paths of rockets it launches. As of Friday, the re-entry is predicted to occur on Saturday, 11:53 p.m. Eastern Time. If that is accurate, debris could shower down over the Indian Ocean. I'm glad I'm not over there. Number 7, they cook. They feign interest in Minecraft. They wrestle, they teach, they give their children confidence. Moms do it all. Especially this year, it seems as if mothers spend a lot of time cataloging their failures. If I didn't say that right. We didn't hear it right. So for Mother's Day this year, 12 moms were asked to reveal their talents and share their secret strengths. Wrestling, Mira Tassin writes, however you say her name, I guess the P is silent, shows her family. Mira Tassin shows that her family is, quote, not just a woman in an apron or hunched over a computer all day. I'm also physically strong and playful, and at times I cannot be beat. If you're celebrating Mom this weekend, get a recipe to wow her. For some, Mother's Day can be a reminder of the loss. These black mothers have become the real experts on gun violence, is told. I'm sure they have, especially this year. The past year, it seems that I don't know if it was just that it was documented or that it had actually happened more. I'm not sure. But number 8, live from New York, it's Elon Musk. The billionaire chief executive of Tesla and founder of SpaceX will host Saturday Night Live tomorrow, a decision that has drawn some criticism, partly because of Musk's tweeting of misinformation about the pandemic. Some cast members have expressed their displeasure, or at least, quote, their befuddlement. Michael Che, one of the show's head writers, said the disagreement was a good thing. Quote, I think it means people still care about the show in some way, at least. Shrill, created and starring SNL's Aidy Bryant, is also back for its 3rd and final season. Number 9, the quest for a deer-proof garden. Getting straight to the bad news, it doesn't exist. As one of the dominant species in Canada and the U.S., white-tailed deer are the largest herbivore in most places where we farm and garden. But our garden expert says there are still plenty of things you can do to deter them, like building a barrier or using repellents that smell or taste bad. First, though, make sure your adversary is a deer. If you'd rather not bat stags and does, you can just buy your flowers. T Magazine rounded up the most sought-after florists in cities around the world who are pushing the art of floristry in new directions. And finally, old buildings, new views. While New York City's skyline is ever-changing, some recent construction and additions to historic buildings across the city have revealed formerly hidden and spectacular views to the world. Much of the ornamentation is now available for view because of new residential spaces at the Woolworth Building, Steinway Hall, and the Waldorf Astoria. Quote, light, shadow, and depth are their common language. Yet they each have their own character, their own personality, and place in the urban experience. There you go. 10-point brief of news today. So, yeah. Make it a good weekend. And Sunday, I do have a project brief ready for Sunday's episode. So why don't you go ahead and tune in. Leave me a message or something. Let me know what you think of the podcast. And if there's anything else you want me to do. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Okay? Toodles.
A seat in Congress for the first time in its history, with population counts in the Golden State on the downturn. Let's go to Fox Business's Ashley Webster with the details. Ashley.
Well, listen, it's no secret that California is losing population. Combination of high taxes, a high cost of living, and politics is leading to an exodus of people who find once they move, guess what? They're paying less for power, property taxes, income taxes, gas, even car registrations, you name it, they're paying less. And now, with the Census Bureau about to release its latest official head count later today, California could pay the price with the loss of a congressional seat for the very first time in its history. Tennessee has seen the biggest influx of one-way trucks, followed by Texas, Florida, Ohio, and Arizona. In other words, states that remarkably let you keep more of your own money.
Two shots, fucking foot, bust, fucking pussy, fucking pussy, easy, fucking foot, two shots, fucking foot, throw it like a stripper, damn, throw it like a stripper, ayy.
The poor can't afford health care, so then disease spreads. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy your next 24 hours. On to the next one.